All right, sit up tall, straight. Take this time to distance yourself from whatever came before, whatever has to come after what is today. It's an even day. You may sit with your favorite crossing. Take that buttock flesh back. Use your hands to release that thigh flesh down. Take a few deeper, stronger inhalations with your hands still reaching out. That gives you a little bit more lift in the chest. Remove your glasses if you have them. Bring your hands to your heart. Keep the shoulders rolled back, the shoulder blades moving into yourself more, and the abdomen, ribs back and quiet. Keep telling yourself, my mind is not in charge. My intellect is. My mind is not in charge. My intellect is. It's that deeper sense of self. Instead of the monkey mind that jumps from thought to thought. Join me or not, your choice there. Inhaling. Keep your spine erect, shoulders broad as you bring your hands to your thighs. And then release and come up. All right, so there are basically 3 ways to warm up for back bends. One is, a bunch of Surya Namaskars and then Surya Namaskars and standing poses. The second way to warm up is with twists because it invigorates the spinal column. The third way, which is where we're going to today, is with the abdominals because, as you probably have heard, it's all about the core, right? Well, if you strengthen the core, the back of the core, which is the back, that gets stronger as well. So we're going to warm up that way. And those of you who have 2 or 3 straps, have those straps nearby. 2 or 3 straps, hopefully. If you only have 1, I'll tell you where to put it. But I'm going to put my straps here. Make sure you can see all of me. I gotta scoot back some. I gotta tilt my camera better. And again, I apologize for the delay. I'll try to make it up to you. So the first thing is to do a little Jatara Parivartanasana with bent knees. So the point I want to get across on this one, just watch first, is the side you're going to. So I'm lying horizontally out on the mat, and I'm going to hold that top mat, tuck the shoulders under, and really pull the arms out and holding that top mat. Then I bring the knees in, and now the side that I'm going to, that elbow has to press down more to keep this chest and this side body from collapsing. So watch, and you're going to go 3 times each side, so it looks something like this. Inhale, always moving on the exhalation, so I'm pressing down on this right elbow more. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So always move on the movement, there's an exhalation, and you're pressing down more on the side you're going to with that elbow. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So just to remember that you're pressing more a little bit on the side you're rolling over to keep that side chest and that, the chest from collapsing. So go, really press that elbow down, strongly dig it into the floor. Keep the knees in tight, always moving on the exhalation. Keep your feet together, knees together. Inhaling, exhaling movement, inhaling, exhaling, come up. Go a little bit more than you think you can go. Yeah, digging that right elbow down. Okay. All right, and now just relax. Okay, now you're gonna do it with the straps. So remember I said either you had 2 or 3 straps. If you have 3 straps, it's hips, middle of the thigh, middle of the calf. If you only have 2 straps, it's middle of the calf, middle of the thigh. If you only have 1 strap, remember a few weeks ago, we did it and I asked you to know where the strap mostly helped you. You should know. If it's me, it was the one that helped me the most was the middle of the thighs. So your choice. If you only have 1 strap, you put it in your favorite spot. If you have 3, go for all 3. And they are snug. Snug. Middle of the thigh. Snug. Middle of the calf. Widest part of the calf. Okay, now same thing as far as with that elbow of the side you're going down to, pressing into the floor. So just watch. I hold on to the sticky mat. I inhale, exhale, contract, pull the abdomen towards the floor. Hold on for dear life onto that sticky mat. Inhale, exhale. See how I'm pushing more on the right elbow. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So I'd like for you to try it at least 3 times each side. I've already done a gazillion of these this morning. So let's see how it goes. Make the legs compact and compressed. So front to back, side to side. Yeah, and if you can't do it with straight legs, you're just repeating. Remember, that's always an option. If this is too hard, you're doing it with bent knees again. Really emphasize the pushing down with that elbow. Emphasize the compression of the legs, and the legs absolutely poker straight stiff. Yeah, it's boring with those straps, working those straps. Yeah, and Mike, if anything bothers you, please tell me, and always go back to the previous pose if it's too hard. Yeah. Now when you, yeah, so you're going over, yeah, all right, you're done. All right, good. Now just rest, legs straight and arms overhead. If you're done, you're done. Try to get your, roll those thighs in more, Kathy Beckman, and you know, inner ankles, big toes together. Okay. When you're done with your 3 per each side, 6 total, then you're just resting with the arms straight and the legs straight. Okay, now this next thing is going to vary, but I think all of you will be able to do something of it, but watch here. Instead of a heavy piece of furniture, like some of you might have, oh, Bob's got his rope wall, I've got my rope wall. Some of you have a couch that you can grab onto. So this is my heavy piece of furniture that I'm going to grab onto. So watch. I'd like you to go 10 times. Remember, always moving on the exhalation. Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. So instead of a heavy piece of furniture here, I'm holding on to my rope wall. Okay, I inhale and I excavate the abdomen. Can you see that? I inhale into the abdomen, excavate the abdomen, and I pull the abdomen down to the floor and then bring the legs up. If that's too much, you can bend the knees to come up. You may bend the knees to come up. And now inhale and exhale 10 times. 1. Always moving on the exhalation. Excavate. Excavate. Pull the abdomen. Your abdomen should be pulling really strongly to the floor. Really strongly pull the abdomen to the floor. Hold on to something behind you. Yeah, you could hold on to your doorway. Yeah. And how about, Kathy, holding on to both sides of your doorway? Put yourself in the middle of your doorway and hold on to both edges of your doorway. Yeah. Okay, so compress and compact. Excavate the abdomen. The abdomen should pull down towards the floor. Straighten the legs, Chaya, straighten the legs. Yeah, so if you can still do this and listen and maybe make this happen while you're doing it, you know those, they're like pile drivers, like a pile driver. You are pile driving your outer thigh from the top of the knee to the hip socket. So you pile drive, bring the hips closer down towards the floor, and that'll help you keep the legs straighter, child. There you are. Yeah, and only go down as far as you're not hurting yourself, and especially in your lower back. Okay. All right, everybody just about done with that? All right, now watch. I hope you'll love this. So now you're going to take your, loosen your straps. And you're going to, I'm sorry I didn't tell you to have a blanket nearby. Hopefully you can reach one. And so, you know, if this was an Indian blanket, it would be opened up one time like that. And I'm going to triple fold it. In the Indian blankets, you may only have to double fold it. And then I'm going to put it in between the ankles, the feet, the shins, the knees, and the thighs. And then I'm going to strap down. I think you'll thank me for this. So let's see, can you see? Now I've sandwiched the blanket in between my legs. Now, there's no reason for you to complain about any bone ankles compressing against each other, shin bones, knee bones. So I'm compressing the thighs in toward each other. And boy, have I got that strap tight. Okay, so this is kind of a prep. And then you have to figure out how you move. Lie on your right side. Lengthen, so it's a prep for Anatasana. So see how I'm lifting up, taking, from my hip bone, I'm lengthening this skin along towards the armpit, and then I lay down on my side. Now compress the legs to each other, and then the bottom leg and the hip into the floor. Watch your breath. And just observe yourself. How steady, how still can you become? Okay, now, let's see if I got everybody there. Getting there. As in, and I didn't have you do Tadasana because I think you're all pretty experienced students that you know the correct actions of Tadasana. But these frontal thighs should be rolling in, and the groins, I'm going to just, because it's a fast way to say it, I'm going to say the groins are away, meaning the very, very back corner of your innermost thigh rolls out. So I'll just say groins away, away, front thighs in, groins away, and hips compact. Are you steady? And can you pull the frontal abdomen towards the back body? Can you feel your breath in your front body and your back body? Okay, now see if you can, if this is challenging enough to stay on this nice edge of the surface of your body, that's fine. But if you keep those actions, keep that compression of the legs in toward each other, the bottom leg and hip into the floor, and then just bend that right arm, put the hand, whoops, see, resist the temptation to roll forward. You can use your hand there just a minute, and then bring it back. Pull the abdomen towards the back body. Look up at the ceiling. Is that not the most steadiest preparation for Anatasana you've done? Hopefully it is. Compress, compact, and groins away. So these frontal thighs keep rolling in, the backs of the thighs spread out. Can you feel that? Don't your legs feel good? Happy legs. All right, second side, all you have to do is roll over. Okay, so you come up with the help of the right hand, extend that left side body. Line yourself up on a straight line. Compact, compress, groins away. You can help them. You can roll that back of the thigh out. Push the hip down into the floor. And then slowly come up. Keep contracting, keep compressing. Thighs, buttocks. Pull the hamstring up to the buttock crease. I'm going to have a look. All right, how's it going? Steady as you go. Steady as you go. Can you feel the breath in the back body? Compress the legs closer together. Stack your feet. Stack your knees. Though you've got a blanket there. Okay. All right, now just roll onto your stomach with your straps still on. You'll love this, I hope. and make a little pillow for your face. Okay, so you just plopped yourself down, okay, without really paying much attention to the placement of the body. So now what I want you to do, with the forehead down, reach both hands from the pubic plate, draw the front of the trunk, pubis to navel, navel to ribs, ribs to chest, chest to throat. Now you've gotten the front of the body nice and long. Okay, and the legs together. Bring the hands, okay, so it's preparation for Bhujangasana, but if you were doing Bhujangasana, you know, eventually your arms straighten. I'm not particularly interested in the arm straightening as much as I am in the compression and compaction of the legs, the buttocks, the hamstring coming to the buttock and all that. So I'm going to come maybe a little forward like that. Okay, so here, let me show you first. So I've already pulled up and lengthened. Now I can contract and compress. Can you see that? Contract and compress. Okay, now I pull the hands slightly back towards me this way, heels this, heel of the hand this way, and I come up. Are you squeezing into that blanket? Are you pressing your toes down? So that the bend is more in the thoracic and not in the lumbars. Could you see? And if you want me to do it wrong, I will. I don't want to hurt myself. But so, you know, I'm not asking you to do that. Because now the bend, I feel the bend here. I want the bend to be more in the upper thoracic, the chest. So I'm here. I scrape and pull all this forward. Hands a little bit, or maybe my thumbs are right at my temple. And then I pull, I contract and compress and press my toes down. Pull the hamstring to the buttock flesh. And go up. So the pelvis largely stays on the floor. And this would be important for sciatica people. Mike, keep the pelvis on the floor. Pull the front of your trunk forward, forward, and up. Don't worry about the elbows still bent. Push your toes down. Could you see the action? This pulling forward, contract, compress, push your toes down into the floor, squeeze that blanket. The legs should be completely active. All right, so is that the first time you're all doing it? All right, one more time. After a brief respite of resting, the forehead on the hands, forehead to the floor, reach under, move, pull, scrape that underbody forward and up. Contract and compress the legs. Careful that the waistband, right? It shouldn't pull towards you. The waistband has to pull towards the contraction of the buttock, where you, especially if you have that strap on, that buttock crease. Inhale and then exhale. Pull the hands towards you. Push the toes down. You can just remain looking straight ahead. Elbows in. Pubis on the floor. Okay, have a rest. Okay, so all that work, I'm hoping, makes easy work in chaturanga. I'm not saying you have to do full chaturanga, but I bet you can do it with all this help, right? So head down, scrape this under belly, abdomen, chest forward. Hands right there at the chest. Tuck the toes well under. Now, here with the head still down, my elbows in, watch, you should be able to lift all of your thigh and your lower abdomen off the floor. Can you see? Then the rest is easy. If you get your legs and this mostly off the floor, the heaviest part, then the chest will be easy. I want to see, it's hard for me to hop around with this, but I can do it. All right, pull forward the underside, belly, abdomen, chest, pull it forward. Okay, and then contract and compress. Pull the hamstring to the buttock to the hamstring. Really, really firm the buttocks to the hamstring. And now, heel of the hand pulls down towards your waist. And just come up with the legs. The abdomen should be lifted. Abdomen, the chest can stay on the floor for these first few ones. Okay? All right, you got one more in you to try I noticed some of you went ahead and tried the full toes. So forehead down, pull up, tuck the toes. So right now I roll, contract, compress, and my abdomen and my hips are off the floor, elbows in, and lift. It's like you're bringing, here's a good clue, folks. Try to imagine you're bringing your pubis towards your collarbones. Pubis to the collarbones. If it's really hard, Kathy, I would say you need to do this. Ten of these. Just working that upper body strength. If it's too hard to lift the abdomen up. All right, we did 2 of those. All right, now you get to take all this off. You can stay seated, I just happen to be up. And you're staying on your belly for Shalavasana. All right, so with my forehead down, I reach under, pull the pubic forward, the abdomen, the ribs, the chest. I roll, so I roll that buttock down towards the hamstring. I contract the hamstring toward the buttock. I bring my hands with my palms up, thumbs near my body. And I go ahead and reach the hands back toward, as if I could reach my toes. Inhale, just keep the feet down first, and lift up. Keep contracting the legs together, keep pulling the hamstring to the buttock, lift, and come down. Everybody still with me? So this is what I meant by me as a fairly flexible yogi. I basically was hanging too much on my bones and relying on my flexibility as a previous ballerina, etc. So now I'm learning to use the muscles, and especially since my osteoporotic diagnosis on one hip only, I'm trying to learn how to reuse my body in different ways that will help me for the long run. So for Shavasana once again. With the forehead down, I reach under, pull this forward, then I roll. This is my rolling the buttock down to the buttock, contract and compress the hamstring to the buttock, hands at my sides, inhale, exhale, lift both the arms and the legs. I'm fine with you separating the legs, but the thigh must lift off the floor. Contract, compress. Reach the hands back. Your hamstrings should be shaking about now. Your biceps should be shaking about now. Okay, and rest, forehead, make a little pillow for yourself. All right. All right. That was 2 Shalavasanas. That's probably good. So the next one is Urdhva Mukha. Let's do it at least twice through, but the first time with the toes tucked under. If you are extremely tight in the shoulders and or you have a recent shoulder injury you are working on, I would recommend bricks. So I'll show the first time with the bricks. Everybody could try with the bricks for the first time. So with my forehead down, once again, same thing. I reach under, pubis to navel, navel to ribs, ribs to chest, lengthen, roll, buttocks down, contract and compress, outer hips, groins away. I forgot to mention that in the other poses, but there's a way to contract the outer hips and keep the groins away, or turn the backs of the thighs turned out. Tuck the toes well under. Walk your toes in as much as possible. Roll, contract, compress. Press the hands down, lengthen the trunk forward, and come up. Shoulders back. Chest forward and up. Lift your chest. Keep the energy in the legs. Don't let the legs go. Yeah, strong legs, and then come down. Rest, your choice if you want to repeat with the blocks or not. This time I'm going to ask you to absolutely press your toes down into the floor. So if you want to watch me first, you can. Okay, pull forward, roll, contract, compress. Press your toes down, tailbone in, groins away. Inhale. Exhale, you saw me pull forward a little bit. I can just remain looking straight ahead. Deepen the buttock crease. Keep the tailbone in. Deepen that buttock crease. Press your toes down. And come down. Have a rest. Okay, one more like that. I'm going to watch. Last Urdhva Mukha. Hands underneath to scrape the pubic, the ribs, the chest, forward towards the sternum. Now roll the buttocks down, contract and compress the legs, hamstring to buttock. Pull your chest as if through your arms and come up. All legs always straight. Straighten those legs. Pull forward a little bit more, shoulders down, chest up. More forward, Kathy Lindar. Forward, pull forward. Deepen that buttock crease. Good. All right, and then relax, come down. All right. All right, this one's just a little bit different to just see if your hamstrings are working or not. So same thing. You would just do the arm that allows you to see the screen first. So I'm crossing my left elbow across. I'm reaching my right arm out. And you know, I've done this, right? I've lengthened the front of the trunk and I've pulled the front of the trunk forward. Then I roll, buttocks down, contract, compress the legs. Okay, then I'm gonna reach around. You will reach around and hold the outside of the ankle. So it's sort of Ardha Bakasana. Now, resist and push the hip, the front of your hip down into the floor as you resist. So watch, I'm pushing the shin into my hand, but I'm resisting the hip. Don't let the hip come off the floor. And then pull yourself forward, up, up, up. Resist, so it's a little bit like a pumping action. Do you see this? Pump. 5 times, pump. Don't lose the hamstring contraction. And rest. Okay. Other arm goes across. First, the left arm down, and you've lengthened, you've pulled up, you've contracted and compressed. Deepen this hamstring to buttock connection. Reach back, pull the outer foot. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Can you feel your hamstring working? If you can't, you're not doing it right. So you are pulling big time with your hand and you're pressing that shin away. Resist. Keep lifting up the front of the trunk. Good. Okay. All right, now come up, and I'm fine if you don't have a wall. If you do, it would be marvelous, but you need a block and a strap for Ustrasana. A block and a strap for Ustrasana. I think it's a little friendlier to use a soft brick if you have it. Let's see. So, the strap goes around just your shins. So you can put it on like that. And then the brick goes between your feet. I'm fine with the skinny way. Tighten your strap on your shins, make it tight. Okay, now because I have the wall here and it's quite helpful, I'm going to use that wall, scoot up to the wall. If you don't have it, you could put, right, your chair in front of you. So you feel the verticality of the thighs and the pubic plate. I don't think I need to show that, but hopefully you've got that. So get that strap on the thickest part of your calf. I've got to move mine up just a little bit. Tighten it. And now I have a nice seat. Okay, now when I come up, I'm gonna press the shins down so much and pull the hammy up to the buttock crease and tighten the glutes to bring the hip thighs to the wall. So it's something like this. You could just have your arms here in Tadasana, or if you have 2 extra blocks and you need some extra help, you can have your 2 bricks here as more help. So I inhale, exhale. So I'd like to see if you can do that 4 more times. Sit down, inhale. So I'm asking you to come up more or less, less compartmentally, but more like one unit. You see that? So chin is tucking into my chest. I'm up from that hamstring to buttock, buttocks compacted and compressed. We don't use the muscles God gave us. How are we doing? Okay, so now the last time you're gonna stay. So here I am. Okay, now you can put your hands either on an imaginary wall in front of you, but what I'm doing is kind of scrubbing or pulling the paint down on my wall this way to lift more the front of the trunk up and head back. Press those shins down and squeeze your brick. Shins down, squeeze through. Do not let any part of the pubic or the thighs leave the wall. So here I'm pulling up, up. Shoulders back and down. And release, have a seat. Is everybody still with me? Everybody doing okay? Yeah? Is it hard? Hard work? Mike, you okay? All right. If you squeeze the brick with your ankles, heels, and you press your shins down, that just makes the hamstring work. It's magic. It's yoga magic. All right, so now this last time, I'd like the hands to come to the sacrum. And if you're doing well, then the hands can come to the buttock crease. And then the hands can go to the feet, but they must move so simultaneously. Simultaneously, they move. And Mike, it might be best for you just to keep your hands on your sacrum and keep working on the length of that hamstring toward the buttock crease. All right, now Bob, if you have something to push down onto, push your hands down so that, yeah, into your hands or the brick or whatever you have. Bolster is fine too. Ready to go? All right, so keep the pubis, keep the thighs on the wall. Bring the hands to the sacrum. In here. Okay. All this is going to make our chair work so easy. So I have done all this. Hands on the sacrum, maybe hands to the thighs. Then simultaneously, hands to the brick or your feet. Keep pushing those hamstrings up, deepening that buttock crease. Okay, and then sit back down. Come out of your strap and your grip. Please don't do a forward bend just yet. You may do a little bit of a wide dog. So I've got my feet the width of the sticky mat. You can do a wide, short dog. So the hands are giving you more support to open up the backs of the legs. Ooh. Really, the emphasis here should be the very, very top of the thigh. Press it back. Okay, and then just walk forward and stand up and grab your chairs for variations of chair Viparita Dandasana. So there's 3 of them, and what I'm going to try to do is have you in each variation for 2 minutes. So 6 minutes total. So the first one, you have to have the blanket, the sticky mat all the way over that front edge of the chair because you're going to do neck curvature first. Okay, and Mike, I would say to belt your thighs. When you get into the chair, belt your, I'll show you. All right, now the first variation, you take your blanket and it's long like it was folded when it was between your legs, and it's across the back. I'm calling this, well, this is the front of the chair, that's the back of the chair. So it's across this is where your chest is gonna be. Okay, so the first one for 2 minutes, and you'll come up, but you'll just switch the position of the blanket ever so slightly between each of these 2 minutes. All right, so here we go. Sit through your chair. And if you don't have, an Iyengar chair, a dining chair is fine. You just have to go side saddle. And you don't have a bar to push into, but that's okay. All right, so Mike's going to strap his thighs for extra support. Middle of the thigh, a little bit closer to the top of the thigh. So watch, I'm going to scoot all the way forward. In fact, I may need to go back just a little bit more. Scoot forward until my buttocks are off the chair. And I can do neck curvature. So here, what were you doing when you were laying prone for the back bends? This part of you was going this way. So it's the same thing, right? You're just upside down. So this is pulling up. Front of the body pulls up towards the head side. So maybe I'm here for a bit and I pull, if you could, hopefully you can see, yeah, you can see my feet. If I pick my toes up and I pull my heels towards the chair, my hamstring will work so much more. Can you see that? Watch, I'm not doing it. I'm just hanging, it's loose. Here, I pull the heels towards the chair, lift the toes. And now I say, okay, now can I come over a little bit more and get my arms outside this roll of the blanket? And hold the chair. So front of the body, rolling this way, coiling the spine in more to the body. If you can, you may straighten your legs. Since we just got there, I'll hold you there for just one more minute. Oh, what happened? Oh, go ahead. I wasn't going to show you all 3 of them. I'll talk you through it because you're going to come up. So 1 more minute there. Now, can you get that same compression of the thighs, hamstrings to buttocks? Shoulder blades move deeper into you. Mike, that looks good. Are you comfortable? Thumbs up. Okay. Good. Kathy? Yeah. Good. You don't have to straighten your legs, but if you can, again, it works on that lazy hamstring, lazy glutes. 15 more seconds there. Okay, if you straighten your legs, you have to bring them in and then come a little bit more onto your chair, right? And then elbows and come up. Okay, now what you do is you turn your blanket, the same blanket, you turn it the spine way. And you try to put it underneath the tailbone, the spine, the neck curve. So I just lift it up and I put it smack dab in the middle of my chair, and I sit back down on it. So now the whole spine is going to have a lift. So 2 minutes here. So here, I scoot forward, neck curvature. Oh, this is nice. And then I curve over that nice shape of the blanket. Those of you who have the capacity may take the hands through the chair. You can even turn the palms out. Pull the hands out. You see how my thumbs are out? And then straighten the legs. Minute and a half left there. Yeah, if you have to have head support, you know who you are. That's fine. So what if that blanket weren't there? Can you lift the spine up and into yourself more from those thighs, not just pressing down, but also, lengthening from inner groin to big toe side. Thirty more seconds. Use your arms as you are able. 15 more seconds. Don't give up on the legs though. Use those legs properly. Okay. 5 more seconds. Okay, bend the knees. Bring yourself up a little bit more on your chair, elbows on the chair, lift up and come up. And now you're taking this little blanket and you're scooting it almost off the chair where it's just underneath your tailbone. So I just come up and it's gonna go down the floor and it's just underneath my tailbone. Doesn't matter that it's on the floor. See that it doesn't go anywhere as you scoot forward. So all of this coming this way. Straighten those legs, compress, contract. Either the hands can go through or not. 2 minutes. When the thighs go down, the sacrum and tailbone lift into the body. That's what's going to keep our lower backs healthy. I wish I understood this when I had back pain in 2 pregnancies. So the tailbone sacrum lifts up and in, just like the rest of your spine is doing. The thighs go down. Forty more seconds. $15 more seconds. Yeah, you have to come up. You're coming up and you're just getting rid of that blanket if you've already come up. Just get rid of it. All right, everybody up. Take your heels outside the chair, the back of the chair seat. The heels are kind of gripping those chair feet. And most of my thigh is on the chair and I rock and roll. I come up and I roll the front thigh in to spread the back of the thigh out. I sit up nice and straight. We're not done with the back bend yet. You have one more. But we can do a little twist here to help us with the spine and being still invigorated. So here, this is how I want you to do chair Bharavajasana today. You're squeezing the inner ankle into that chair leg, holding the chair, I'm turning to the camera, which is to my right, and I'm bending both elbows. So this hand here, this hand's grabbing some of this lip of this back of the chair mat, and both elbows bent. Do you see how wide and broad my chest is? Don't let, if you're turning to your right, the tendency is for that right knee to go out. Squeeze it in, away from the chair bar, and turn. Don't be aggressive here. See what you need to do, but don't be aggressive. Lift up, look over your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder, then look over your right shoulder again, and release. Both hands on the chair to lift up and to move the shoulders down and back, shoulder blades deeper into yourself. Then turn to your left. Both elbows bending out to the side. Pull on that sticky mat that's behind you. Lift up. Push down into your feet and turn. Push down into your feet and turn. Chin up a little, Mike. Head up. Lengthen the sides of your neck. Kathy Lindauer, don't go backwards. Okay. All right, and then come back to center. All right, so here's what I'm going to do for Urdhva Dhanurasana. Mike, I think you should do Utthita Marichyasana and don't do any more of the back bends. Do you remember Utthita Marichyasana with the chair and the foot on the wall? Then I'm just going to show 3 different variations of Urdhva Dhanurasana that I'd like for you to try. Once you've tried 3 attempts of the kind you're doing, and I'm going to try to be kind of quick about it, because I always run out of time. Then you're going down and you're doing another wide dog, wide Uttanasana, and Parshva Uttanasana. Here's the first one. And if you wanted to start here and say, oh, I don't know where my Urdhva Dhanurasana is today, I'll start with the easiest one. So I'm showing you in order of difficulty, this one being the easiest one. So I think that's pretty good. So I sit on the chair. I'm lining, everybody can see, yeah. Let's go back to this one so that I can see what I'm showing you. Okay. Heels up those front chair legs. Do you remember how important your legs were in everything else we're doing? I've always been saying, you know, pull up, contract and compress. It's kind of hard to contract and compress right now. So you have to figure out how you can come up, holding that bolster so it's not going anywhere. So you're coming up, and I'm already, you know, kind of in a nice position here. I'm actually a little bit too close to the wall, so I think I will move back just a little bit. But you saw how easy that was. I just, you know, I'm already there. And the goal in this version is to walk the hands down the wall. So I'm lifting up. Oh. Okay, so I'm pushing my heels and my calves into the chair. Do not let your legs become light. Make your legs work for your spine. The limbs have to help the spine. All right, so that's version 1. Version 2. And if you want to just do that one 3 times, you know, maybe you hold for 3 to 5 breaths. And that's what you do. Next one, bolster on the floor. And look, you know, I don't remember where some of you are, but you could have two bolsters. Want me to show with two bolsters? Two bolsters and two bricks. Mike, let me see what you're doing. Are you good with Utthita Marichyasana? This is for anybody who has any sciatica issues. That's what he's doing. Let's see, Mike, but you're let's see, the side of the lifted leg is the side that's at the wall. Does that make sense? So Mike, look, you're here. The chair is here, this leg is bent, this hip is at the wall. So then I turn this way. Does that make sense? Yeah, you had it a little bit where you weren't turned it right. Okay, so second version, either one or two bolsters. And again, you guys, you know, Julia and probably Marcia, you know Marichyasana, you know Urdhva Dhanurasana, and you can do Urdhva Dhanurasana, then you can just go and do it. Bob, Urdhva Dhanurasana. All right, so you're doing the bolster one. Did you do it 3 times? Oh, you want to see this version? You need a little bit of room for your head away from the wall. So you see how high up I am already. You can turn your hands out to 90, you can do whatever you want there. So I walk the feet in. So this is going this way. My legs are working already. So I come up to the crown of my head, and then I push up. Maybe I walk in. And then I come down. It's very easy to get up if you have the, you know, the strength in your legs and your glutes, which is what we worked on. So have I got anybody doing that version? Good, Kathy. Good, Kathy. Now, yeah, reach for the wall. Use those legs. Soko, let's see. And so don't do nothing though, Bob. You got to do something. Did you do 3 times on the chair? Or you're not even doing that? Okay. And you repeat, Mike, 2 times each side. So Mike, I don't think you still have it right. You still are not getting it. Because the hip of the up leg has to make contact with the wall. The outside of your hip. Watch. How else to show you? So here I have my right leg, my right side of my hip is glued to the wall. My right leg is up on the brick. My trunk is facing forward, not the wall. My side body is lining the wall. And I get really, really tall, and I turn. I don't think anybody needs the last one. So Marcia, can you roll a little bit more towards the wall side? Use those legs, stand up with those shins. Nice, Kathy, have you been in that the whole time? You can come down. Use those legs, Chaya. It's hard to catch everybody. All right, and Julia? Yeah, I can only see your buttocks and your shins and your thighs, but yeah. All right, walk in, Sopo, walk in, toes in, walk in. You came down. All right, well, I guess I'm not going to show the last one. Or do you want to see the last one? For some encouragement, so I did about 6 of these this morning. So I'll just show.
I want to see the last one.
I want to see the last one. So I'm not going to use anything. Okay, is it, you can see I'm in the camera enough, right? All right. So I bend the knees, bring the feet in. Tuck the shoulders already under. So see how much my chest is already lifted. This is reaching this way. Then my hands go maybe a little bit under my shoulders. And I come up with a big exhalation. So if I want to make sure that my breath is right, I do this always 3 times. I'm inhaling, inhaling through the abdomen, exhaling, so no, sorry, inhaling through the chest, exhaling through the abdomen. So it looks something like this. Now I keep that, so my spine is on the floor, and I come up to the crown of my head. Then I come up, and I just stand up those legs. I walk in, press my heels, scrub my heels towards the wall. I walk back out, come down, in control. Yeah, about 8 of those probably this morning. So, what did I say? Wide dog. It can be a wide and a short dog so that you can put more weight into those legs. But press the tops of the thighs back. Groins away. Okay, walk up. Not so wide Uttanasana, but not narrow, not feet together by any means. Cross your left hand across the front of your right ankle. So I'll show you from the side view here. There. Right hand out to the side. Keep your hips squared on an inhale, then an exhalation. Pull your trunk over to the right. Harsha Uttanasana. Inhale, come up. Right hand across the front of the left ankle. Inhale, exhale. Okay, and then have one of your bolsters here in front of you for kind of a really nice Adho Mukha Virasana. Looks something like this. Forehead on the bolster, reach the arms out. Okay, now you're rolling over onto, so your right ear rolls onto your right bicep, like that. Your left hand comes to the floor, press. So just let that bottom side, which is my right side, kind of drape down. And push the floor with the left hand. I feel this more in the hips, actually. Okay, back to Adho Mukha Virasana. Forehead down, arms extended. Then right hand to the floor. Roll your left ear to your bicep. Push with your right hand. Roll a little bit more to get that side body fully extended. Okay, and then back to center. Just rest your forehead, rest your arms, rest yourself. Okay, how about a really nice, well, either 2 bolsters or a bolster and some blankets. Not everybody has 2 bolsters, right? So I'll show with the bolster and the blankets. It's the sliding bolster idea of Setu Bandha. So no sticky mat. So if you had 2 bolsters, let's see. You're making a cross, basically. Bob and I think Kathy Lindauer, you have 2 bolsters. So the top bolster is for your spine. So it looks something like that. Is that right? I didn't do that right. So this would be the bottom bolster going across, top bolster for your spine. And you just sit a little bit on that back edge. And you scoot until your shoulders, head, and neck. You could have a blanket for your head if that's not comfortable. If you do it with 2 bolsters, you really get a huge lift here across the pelvis, which is really nice. Or you could do it with more bottom bolster. More blankets, I should say. Don't give up on your legs. Keep extending, keep pressing, compressing and compacting. So this bolster edge here should hit you near the end of your shoulder blades, the bottom of your shoulder blades. Work on your legs and just let that breath be received in your trunk. Okay, bend your knees. Scoot yourself backwards, and you can take that blanket or bolster support, you can turn it and have it for the back of the thighs. Put this on top of it. Shavasana.
See that your lower back is fully, down on the floor. Decompress. Let loose completely everywhere. And just as you are settling in into your Shavasana, I want to read something from The Art of Yoga that I was reading over the weekend. Okay. So he called this kind of a follow-up or an addendum to Light on Yoga, because it was written much later, or it was compiled much later. 1993, first published. But in it, remember it's called The Art of Yoga? So he says, art is the application of a man's intellect in a chosen field to the exploration of nature and the creation of new ideas, forms, and shapes from nature's subjects and objects. It is a search for perfection and truth. As food is essential to sustain life, so is art for man to enhance his knowledge of his spirit. Any action done with beauty and purity and in complete harmony of body, mind, and soul is an art. In this way, art elevates the artist. As yoga fulfills the essential need of art, it is an art. It starts as a basic art and shows the way of striving for and emulating the divine with the help of the divine spark within in order to reach the spiritual self. So he really saw yoga as an art. It's an art form. And it shows us the way to the divine. In many cases, it leads us to explore and observe hidden and unknown parts of our bodies and the movements of our mind. Slowly and surely, it will help you to emerge with a cleaner body and a clearer mind. I've kept you long enough. Fold the limbs in slowly, one at a time. Roll over to your right side and wait there 1 or 2 breaths before you come up. Head is the last thing that comes up. Sit up straight and tall once again. And then just honor your practice. Ask yourself, how do you feel, for one? Back bends can be very invigorating, energizing, and all that. I kind of get a high for a few hours, and then I just get really, really peaceful. Bring your hands to your heart. In gratitude for all the teachers who've come before us and
and especially lift up Jonathan and Edith and the crew at Austin Yoga Tree, as it be the Lord's will to help us stay in business. Thank you, one and all. Namaste.